So welcome to the first video of this series, and this is going to be all about the user interface in 3ds Max. As you can see, I'm using 3ds Max 2014, and when you first open up 3ds Max, you'll see these four windows. First of all, these are your viewports. So as you can see, this one says top, front, left, and this one is set to perspective. Now let's just create some objects here so that you can actually see what's going on here. So let's just create a box and a box in the middle. So you can see this one here at the top. This is the top view, this is a front view, left view, and then you've got your perspective view. And you can change any of these views if you like to. So if you want to change your perspective view, just click on the word perspective and you can make this one say bottom, or you can make it top, or anything that you like. Let's set that back to perspective. And the same with these other windows. So you can just click on front and you can set that maybe to top, and let's set this one here to front again. So you can customize this as you like, and what you can also do is you can maximize any of these windows. So let's say we want to maximize our perspective view. You have to right click on this little plus in the corner and then click on maximize viewport, and that will maximize that viewport for you. To get back to the four viewport view, just right click on that plus again and click on restore viewport. Okay, so if you look at your top toolbar, this is where you'll have your select and link tools. You'll have your move, rotate, and scale tools. We're going to look at those in a new video. And you've got your snapping tools here. You've got your rendering tools here at the top, your material editor, and your graph editor. This is your Mass Effects editor. I've actually added this here, so you might not have this, but we'll definitely look at this at a later stage. On the side, you've got your create and your modify panels. So this is where you will create all your primitives. We'll also go into the details a bit later on, and the modify panel, we'll look at that a bit later as well. Here at the bottom, you've got some of your camera controls and your pan and your orbit tools. We'll look at that in a moment. And then you've got your time configuration, this little button right here at the bottom. It's got a little clock next to it. So this is where you set your frame rate and your animation length and all of those type of things. So basically, if you set this to PAL, this will run at 25 frames a second, or you can set it to film, which is 24, or you can set it to custom or NTSC, which is 30 frames per second. So for now, it doesn't really matter. Let's just set it to PAL or NTSC, it doesn't matter. And then right at the bottom, you've got your timeline. So this is your frames in your animation. So currently it's set to 100 frames, the length. And if we go back into the time configuration, you'll see the length of our animation is set to 100. So if you change this to 500, click on OK, you'll see that your timeline will update to 500 frames. So let me show you how to move around your scene. So first of all, I want to make my perspective view full screen. So I'm going to go into my perspective window here at the bottom, right click on that little plus and go maximize viewport. And then if you hold in your middle mouse button or your mouse wheel and you'll move around, you'll actually see that it will pan your view side to side and up and down. So it's just like a normal pan. Then if you use your scroll wheel to scroll in and out, you will zoom in and out. And then another little trick, if you hold in Alt on your keyboard and you hold in the mouse button and you move around, you will actually orbit around your scene. So that's holding Alt and then holding the middle mouse button. So try that now and play around with some of these controls. Zoom in, zoom out, pan around, and also orbit around your scene. Another quick trick, if you left click on an object and you do the Alt and middle mouse button click, it will orbit around that object. So say we've got a box here in the corner and we've got that highlighted like that, and we'll do an Alt middle click, we'll orbit around that object. So if you select maybe everything in the scene, so if you click and drag, select everything, hold in Alt middle mouse button, it will orbit around those objects. Okay, another thing that's really important, if you click on this little drop down right at the top corner, you'll get your new, reset, open, save as, and all of those things, import and export. Really important, if you click on reset and we don't want to save that and click yes, that will reset everything to default. And let's just create a box and maybe another box on top of that. And if you want to save this, you're just going to click on that down arrow, go to save as, and then you can give it a name, test scene, and click on save, and that will save it. So these are all your normal standard type of options that you get in most Windows programs, and that is the basic user interface for 3ds Max. So really simple stuff. Just play around with some of these controls and also just navigate around your scene a little bit. Just get used to some of these movements, and that's it for the first video, and I'll see you guys in the next video.